Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo. We're here at the South Park Center and I'm here with Lorena with the movie At Last. Let's take a look at a clip.
You know what's gonna happen next? I'm gonna walk you down the aisles, you marry your future husband.
I do want you to be yourself. Your parents does love you so much.
You think so?
Lorena, I'm so happy to do this in person with you.
Same. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you. And I love that you were a spectator and then now you've got a film at our film festival. It's so special. Thank you so much for At Last. It's such a special film. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Sure. So At Last tells a story about a girl who's going to prom, and through a course of events and with the help of her best friend, manages to muster up the courage to ask the girl that she's liked to dance with her, and has a aha moment and calls her dad to come out to him. So
it's so special. Like, you know, I definitely cried. It was wonderful because it was just so touching and the performances were so incredible. Where did the inspiration come for you deciding you wanted to write this story?
Yeah, the inspiration came from thinking of the next piece I wanted to make. My first short film was also personal. I wrote it for my mom and her experience of, going through domestic violence and how she was able to leave that relationship. So the next piece, I had come to a place where I'd come out already, living here in LA, and felt the need to tap into something personal like my queer identity. And I thought back to my high school experience and how super closeted I was in high school. And the thing that kept coming to mind, and after seeing photographs of my high school prom, which are, cringing, I'm like dolled up with a dress and my hair and my makeup and my heels. Like, I remember it so vividly, and I remember just saying to myself, oh man, I wish I could go back and relive my prom. And then this story of coming out on prom night, that'd be pretty awesome. And then if we add these elements, so it just started gradually progressing. But it came from the need to, I guess, selfishly relive my prom and also just make a film that I wish I had in high school.
I mean, you kind of almost created the dream for most queer people of what they would like to do if they could go back, and I think it resonated with a lot of different people. But there's also powerful moments that I don't think people realize. You see this character in a beautiful dress, but that's not what this person wanted to be and feel. And so that was a very powerful moment when you're just able to identify who you are and wear what you want to wear. And that was such a powerful moment. I really thought that was very special. But speaking of the cast though, I don't know how you found them, but I love all of them. Tell us a little about the casting process for you. Sure,
yeah, no, I was very blessed and so lucky to have, I call them an ensemble. I feel like it's an ensemble piece. So, I wrote the role for the dad with George in mind, because I was like, who is the most infamous father figure that we know, growing up, and I grew up watching his stuff. And
he's great.
He's so great, and I secretly wrote it with him in mind, not knowing whether or not, we were gonna have him. And then I had just seen Peanut Butter Falcon, and I had written that role of James for a character with Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. And then I saw Peanut Butter Falcon, I was like, oh my God, that is James, I need him. And Marlene, who plays the mom, I had worked with before. I've had the pleasure of being her friend and collaborating twice already. And
she's so great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And Katie, this is her first leading role.
What?
Yeah, and
she carried it so well.
She did. She did such a fantastic job. And she was in a film that I produced. And Trisha, a friend, and we've collaborated on several stuff as well. So it came from just, attracting people who were passionate about the material. It was such a personal story and such a special story. And everyone just gravitated, the five of them gravitated towards the material. And we were lucky enough to get the dream cast, that's what I call them, because George said yes, Zach said yes, and Marlene said yes, and they were, we had a couple of rehearsals just with the girls and with Zach, but you know, George and Marlene, like the family dynamic, it was once we were on set, I mean, it was just like so beautiful to see.
I mean, I listen, when you can make a film that not only I think teaches people, like, you know, I thought from the parents' perspective, I thought, you know, that dad articulation of a response to their child coming out, like, you just hope that is what it is for every family, right? But it was really good for any other dad that was watching to sort of experience that. And then for anyone that's kind of going through, got a friend that may be going through the similar thing, like, that was also very powerful to watch as well. Was that kind of something that you wanted to really kind of, because I felt like you could, anyone could be either educated or maybe have empathy or an emotional connection to it. Was that kind of something you really wanted to articulate all kind of areas of the story? Because you did it really well.
Yeah, thank you. That was the goal. The goal was to start a conversation and change hearts, right? You know, we are dealing with, you know, coming out, but then also inclusivity, you know, and
exactly.
I remember, you know, while filming, one of the conversations, because I didn't have time to rehearse with George, but, you know, I pulled him aside and we were just talking, you know, he's a dad, and kind of just run over the scene with him. And then he said, you know, life's too short, right? Like, you have to just live your life and be who you are. I was like, that is so right. And I wish I knew that when I was 18, and so afraid and fearful, and I guess not proud of who I was. So yeah, life is short, and we're just so glad that we were able to make a piece that resonates with everyone, right? You don't have to be queer to appreciate the story. You don't have to be part of the disability community to appreciate it, or Latin in that case, you know?
Of course.
It was just this, we wanted to make a film that transcends all borders and just tells a story about acceptance and just how hard it is to be a teenager, you know? It's hard.
Yeah. It's really hard. Everybody, it's hard, okay? All right, we understand. I love all of that. What is it like to have, and speaking of which, like, this was with NewFilmmakers LA, it was in partnership with the Academy, like, you got such a array of, like, some of the best talent coming through, and a great celebration of the Latinx community. How was that experience, like, being part of this whole festival?
It's been amazing. I mean, we're towards like the tail end, right, of our festival run, so this has been amazing to kind of close out with a bang, if you will. And like I said, I've been to New Filmmaker LA, you know, festivals and programs, so it's like a full, you know, 360 to be here with a film that we are just so proud of, and I feel so lucky that, you know, we were able to make it happen, and we have such an incredible cast and crew and team behind it. So it's been amazing to just meet the different filmmakers as well. You know, I was watching the films, and the caliber of films is just incredible.
Yeah,
so,
you included.
Yeah, we're just honored to be here.
Well, like, I mean, I'm just so curious, because obviously you know, your first film that you made was also, you know, covering something, you know, personal to you, etc. Like, for you as a director, like, what kind of stories do you want to tell? What inspires you?
What inspires me? I like character-driven stories, and just they tend to be on the more personal side, you know. And I don't know. I know when I go to the movies, I want to be moved or feel something, right? So I just want to make something that makes an audience feel, and whether that's, you know, happy tears or sad tears, or makes you think, or you know, question things. Those are the stories I love to embark on.
Yeah, and it's great when you can go away. I'm still thinking about your film, and I'm thinking about the characters, and I'm still there, and it's, you know, it's moved us. So thank you so much for that. What is next for you?
Sure. So we just launched At Last on HBO Max two Fridays ago.
You know,
so,
just HBO Max, you know.
So that was really great, and we're expanding the short to feature right now, because there is, you know, that's how I always intended it to be longer, but I knew that I could do a short, like take a snippet of that feature and make that happen. So that's pretty exciting, and just a couple of other stuff,
That's amazing. That's amazing. And finally, I know obviously you're, you know, early in your career, but you've achieving so much already. I'm so proud of you. But like, for any advice out there for other filmmakers, do you have any kind of advice that you maybe go by, you've been told, or something that you can just tell our audience?
Sure. I would say that filmmaking is hard, but if it's what you were born to do and you feel the urge to tell your story, then that's the only thing that matters. You know, I was briefly before we were talking, just like the war stories that you go through when making a film, right? And those are the moments that really test whether or not you were made for this. You know, if your heart is really in it, because there's going to be all these obstacles and things that you have to go through. But on the other side, I mean, this whole experience has been amazing, and I'm so proud that we never gave up, because it's so easy to give up, especially when things are going bad and hard, and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to drop the towel. But just keep at it if it's something that you're so passionate about. And
your film needs to be seen by a lot of people. You know, it's going to resonate with a lot of people, help support a lot of people, and educate others. So I'm excited that you're expanding it on the feature. But thanks so much, Lorena. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you for your film, and thank you to all your cast and crew that made it happen as well.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. We love you.